Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video, and in today's video we're diving into the 15-star Super Boss against MORIA with the bigger damage teams that I put out in the prep video. So, starting it off with the quick fight, we have the combination of Yamato and Ace. Now, this particular team, I don't think is going to struggle all that much to hit the 1 trillion mark. I don't think it really needs to be tweaked at all, as we clocked out over 50 billion damage with 2 units. So, there's a lot of damage still to come. Obviously, we didn't even trigger the Super Tandem. We hadn't even triggered the final tap. So, literally just with the rush of Ace, we did so much goddamn damage. However, I'm sure you could probably tweak the team a little bit. Maybe bring Ace down as a sub. Try a Nami friend captain and do some fun stuff there. Maybe try and do some double conditional boosting stuff with Robin. But the potentials for this particular fight are endless because Dex is in just such a really good place when it comes to high damage output. Yamato, Zoro, Sanji, they just all work very, very nicely. On turn 2, you have to deal with Block Orb, Special Bind, as well as an attack down if you blow a certain chain. So utilizing Carrot Nami here just works perfectly. Again, the new Nami as a friend captain or your own captain is going to work great. But I found that just like utilizing Nami Carrot is just absolutely perfection. Plus, I tried to keep this no new unit centric rather than like funneling into the newer characters, except for the second fight, which you'll see Brook, but it is what it is. On the final stage, there's damage reduction, threshold, full immunity except for increased damage taken and weakening. There's paralysis and an intimidation for all buffs. They remove it by 1 turn. So what you want to do here is you want to deal with the damage reduction first with Yamato. The super swap is going to allow you to go into the dual form, and that's going to start all of the extra final tap shenaniganry, all the extra percentiles to make her hit even harder. You do want her final tap at level 3, I believe. I believe it's level 3. Actually, I don't think it matters with this team because you have Ace, you have Luffy, and you have Zoro, Sanji, as well as Nami. So you probably don't need the max final tap. It'll just obviously change the damage potential. If you use her special first, she can start recharging her special. You can use the set target ability of Cross Guild, and then you can super swap with Zoro and Sanji, and then use the Zoro Sanji special. Zoro Sanji are going to turn everyone into Free Spirit and Slashes. Plus, because of that intimidation of the Orb buff, it's going to be removed, so you don't have to worry about them increasing said Orb buff. Cross Guild give you 2 turns of an Orb buff, which is very, very nice. They're going to increase it to 3 because of Ace as a captain. And then you're going to be off to the races there for slashes. With that, Luffy can increase it by 1.5, but Ace can also increase the color affinity by 1.5 as well, and give you a conditional buff. So you have a conditional buff, increased color affinity, you have increased orb boosting. Unfortunately, Ace's EX only gives you a 2.5 times attack boost, but look, it needs to happen, unfortunately, to get the EX. I guess you could probably just, like, well, you kind of need it to avoid Luffy giving you an attack boost. Luffy's also base stats for this team too. He removes the ship bind, which is awesome. And unfortunately, you can't get the chain boundary with Cross Guild because there is an interrupt for that. As you guys will see here, Ace goes to the absolute moon. We don't even hit all of the rushes. We just don't have enough HP, unfortunately. But I'm sure you could probably find a way to get a little bit more HP moving into the later stages. I believe we didn't have the EX of Luffy and Yamato there either. So, Zoro Sanji there as well. We should have actually, yeah, we should have had the EX of Zoro Sanji. I just don't know if I activated it. Moving on to the in-fight now, we are utilizing Shanks with a friend captain, Brook. And honestly, not a huge fan of this particular team. On paper, it looked great. It looked like it was going to work fantastically. And then I kind of got into the runs of it, and I don't really know, man. I don't think it's going to crack all that much damage. Maybe around 100, maybe 200 billion damage. It does require your own Shanks to be level 5, as well as bringing a friend captain, Brook. So I do understand that's a little bit more finicky. We have put together something else, something a little bit more juicy in terms of not needing your own Shanks and stuff like that. So I'll probably upload a video like that when I get some more time a little bit later down into the Kazuna. But this particular team, it did actually work. And upside to this team is we have Uta utilizing her special on turn 1 to get the turn progression buff. That is going to actually avoid the special bind that gets inflicted on turn 2. So very, very nice that we actually get that. The special bind can be an absolute nuisance for most teams. You can use like a Roger friend captain, I suppose. That'll get around it. But you also get action binded on turn 3 for your bottom row, and that's where we wanted to use Brook. But as you can see, Uta just covers you for the first 2 stages. You move into the final stage, and you lose your positive buffs too. Losing the turn progression buff will allow you to apply a 2.75 times attack boost thanks to Uta. However, there's an interrupt on attack boost, so this automatically application doesn't trigger that interrupt, which is absolutely perfect. Get a nice chunky attack boost. Shanks can increase it and then give you color affinity. Unfortunately, there's an intimidation to reduce your color affinity by 1. So Shanks' color affinity will actually go down to a 3 times. Now, you could probably get around this early by super swapping with Zoro Sanji, and then utilizing the Ace special, and then utilizing Shanks' EX to get around the intimidation. But then I figured, like, you're not increasing the color affinity, and then I just figured that 4.5 times color affinity was better than 4 times color affinity, so it just made logical sense in my head. But much of a muchness, really. Zoro Sanji turns everyone into free spirit and slasher characters, which is awesome. Make sure you do that before you utilize Shanks' EX. We have the Beppo support once again for a tandem mob on Luffy. He's going to increase the orb effects of Ace, as well as give us base stats because we have an attack boost. We have Brook here. He basically just helped us get around the action blind on the bottom row. He also makes slashes into super slashes, which is great for Shanks because Shanks doesn't actually have the super class available from Zoro and Sanji. With that, unfortunately, we don't have a full super class list, which is just a little bit annoying. And as you guys will see, we're sort of funneling all of our damage into Shanks, but it's not exactly like where I want it to be in terms of great damage output. Like I said, we are trying some other stuff. We'll see what that damage looks like. As you'll see here, like, Uta doesn't even really hit that friggin' hard, man. Like, and I thought Uta, like, hey, you should be able to do something, right? But hey, at the end of the day, we move. As you can see, though, we had a whole bunch of rush taps that kind of just went into the back end of it. Obviously, the final tap is the one that does the most. And then because Luffy delays, the burn will take care of the resilience. But that's going to wrap up the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, build the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.